Welcome to Conflict Scope, your go-to channel for in-depth and engaging coverage. In today's episode, we bring you a powerful update on a potential joint strike being planned by the United States and Israel against Iran. We'll also explore the heavy weaponry recently delivered to Tehran by China and Russia, along with other key developments you don't want to miss. Yesterday, something very strange happened. US President Donald Trump was in Scotland meeting with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. The two were reportedly discussing various major issues. One might expect their discussions to focus on US-Europe trade relations, the war between Russia and Ukraine, or perhaps even the Gaza conflict. But suddenly, a journalist asked Trump a question regarding Iran. Out of nowhere, Trump responded sharply. He said, "The signals coming out of Iran are bad. Not terrible, but bad enough. And Iran needs to understand that this time, the United States will complete the mission faster than ever before." He further added that Iran had interfered in the recent negotiations over Gaza and had received heavy blows as a result. He claimed that the U.S. had already dismantled Iran's nuclear capabilities once, and it was prepared to do so again, swiftly and decisively. Trump made it clear, Iran is sending very negative signals, and it shouldn't do that. Now, that might sound like a typical Trump remark. He's commented on Iran many times before. But this time, something is different. There seems to be a serious development concerning Iran. Trump isn't the only one raising the alarm. Yesterday, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz also issued a direct threat. He explicitly warned of the possibility of assassinating Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. That's a significant and dangerous escalation. So, what exactly happened to provoke such fierce and coordinated warnings from both the US and Israel? To understand this, we need to go back a bit. Right after Trump made his remarks, Katz visited an Israeli air base, where he praised the soldiers and pilots for their performance in what he called the 12-day war, a reference to recent military operations targeting Iranian assets. He commended them, saying they opened Iranian airspace and delivered a blow to Iran. But then, his tone shifted dramatically. According to Israeli media, including Ma'ariv, Katz directed strong words at Khamenei: he must stay silent and stop the threats. This time, Israel is ready, not only to strike Iran again, but to strike Khamenei himself. He added, "We have already dealt a fatal blow to Iran's nuclear program and its missile capabilities. We aim to ensure that the regime learns its lesson. If they continue threatening us, we will strike again, when they least expect it." This is a major development. Why does this matter? Because, as I mentioned earlier, Saudi Arabia has been pushing hard to prevent another war in the region. According to Tactical Report, a reputable intelligence outlet, Saudi Arabia is deploying all its diplomatic resources to avoid a renewed conflict. Their biggest concern: they don't trust Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's true intentions. So now, when we see the Israeli Defense Minister publicly threatening Khamenei's life, it's clear the situation is deteriorating rapidly. But what triggered this aggressive rhetoric? Let's look at what's happening inside Iran. Iran had been scheduled to hold a crucial meeting with European foreign ministers, a sort of last chance discussion before the EU considers reimposing devastating economic sanctions on Tehran. Just before the meeting, Iran's foreign minister publicly declared, "We will never give up our nuclear program. Enrichment is our sovereign right." That's what provoked Trump's warning. He sees these statements as evidence that Iran isn't serious about diplomacy. He reminded Tehran that if they try to restart their nuclear program, it will be erased. Meanwhile, Iran's president gave interviews to multiple media outlets, including Al Jazeera, reiterating that Iran will never abandon uranium enrichment on its own soil. Perhaps they're willing to discuss the percentage of enrichment, but giving it up entirely? That's off the table. From Trump's perspective, this defiance is unacceptable. And why is Israel upset? Because of what Russia has done. According to Military Watch, Russian Il-76 transport planes recently delivered advanced S-400 missile defense systems to Iran, not the older S-300, but the more powerful S-400, which is capable of targeting US F-35 jets. The systems are reportedly being tested jointly by Russian and Iranian crews. This marks a serious escalation in Russian support for Iran, even while Russia is deeply entangled in the war in Ukraine. Iran is also working on GPS disruption technology. During the recent 12-day conflict, Iran discovered that the deadliest attacks against it didn't come from air raids, but from Israeli drones launched from inside Iran. These drones were guided by GPS and hit 70% of Iran's critical targets. Now Iran is trying to jam international GPS systems and create its own domestic alternative, along with a private internet network to prevent drones from operating over its airspace. Can Iran do that alone? No. But China is helping. China has reportedly agreed to deploy satellites to help Iran jam GPS signals and set up a domestic navigation and communication system. That way, if a drone tries to fly over Iran, it won't function properly, it won't have access to navigational data. In addition, Iran has banned WhatsApp for government and military use, citing security concerns. Interestingly, the U.S. Congress also banned WhatsApp after discovering how much Israel had relied on it during the recent war. So yes, Iran is preparing for war. Their president even admitted, "We don't trust this ceasefire. It might not hold." This confirms that Iran is preparing in a new, more sophisticated way. And yet, despite their external readiness, Iran is weak internally. Its political system has been destabilized by recent conflicts. Fox News reported that Khamenei has become increasingly reclusive, allegedly using narcotics and suffering from mental instability. Iran is also suffering from severe water shortages, especially in Tehran, due to extreme heat. The economy is collapsing, and military stockpiles are depleted. Following the recent war, many of Iran's missile factories were destroyed, and it will take months, if not years, to rebuild their arsenal. Even the New York Times noted during the war that Iran's medium-range missile stockpile was alarmingly low. On top of that, Iran refuses to return to negotiations unless the U.S. provides ironclad guarantees that it won't be attacked again. The Iranian Foreign Ministry said bluntly, "We will only return to talks if it serves our national interest, and only with clear U.S. assurances." The U.S., however, has no intention of offering that. For one thing, it believes Iran is trying to rebuild its nuclear program. And second, because America is actually preparing for war. Trump himself announced plans to massively increase U.S. ammunition stockpiles, including missiles. CNN reported that the U.S. used up to 25% of its THAAD missile inventory during the recent conflict. That depletion was so serious, CNN said it threatened U.S. national security. If China had invaded Taiwan during those 12 days, the U.S. would have been vulnerable. So now, the U.S. is ramping up production of its THAAD systems. At the same time, Iran might target Israel's Dimona nuclear facility, mine the Strait of Hormuz, use the Houthis to launch rocket attacks, and possibly bring Hezbollah into a full-scale war. This won't be a limited operation, this would be all-out war. And when Israel's defense minister says openly that they might assassinate Khamenei, that tells us all we need to know: Israel is serious. Netanyahu is looking for an excuse to strike Iran militarily. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's diplomatic efforts are being crushed between Israel's determination to act militarily, Iran's refusal to compromise. Iran still insists, "We will enrich uranium on our land. No matter what." But here's one final twist: Putin called Netanyahu. According to TASS, the Russian president urged Israel to resolve the Syria and Iran issues diplomatically and avoid military escalation. The two also discussed preserving Syria's territorial unity and stability. Russia, of course, maintains two major military bases in Syria, Tartus and Mymimim. Still, many see that phone call as mere political theater. Netanyahu is unlikely to be swayed by Putin's advice, especially when Israel can easily fly over Syrian and Iranian airspace anytime it wants. And don't forget, Trump recently shortened Russia's sanction relief window from 50 days to just 10. The key takeaway: Russia and China are both becoming more active in supporting Iran. Even if the support is limited, one missile system from Russia, a few satellite services from China, it still marks a significant shift in their foreign policy toward backing Iran. We'll have to see how this unfolds. But the signs are clear, war is coming. Please share your thoughts with us in the comments, don't forget to like and share the video. Also, make sure to join us by subscribing to the channel. Thank you.